Today I want to talk about how crucial it is for the two worlds that you possess to be aligned with each other, to be in harmony. And what are the worlds that I'm talking about? I'm talking about both the physical world, the real world that we are living, as well as your spiritual world. Because what I see in people is that most of the times one is either stuck or too much invested in one of the worlds. Some people are too much invested in the spiritual world but have no results in the physical world, as well as people who are very invested in the physical world, overly invested, and not having good results in the real world because the spiritual world is crooked. And so in conclusion, it has to be an alignment 50-50. Your spiritual world should be 50% of the results that you get, and your physical world the other half. It cannot be some more or the other less. It has to be very aligned. So first of all, let's talk about the problem of overly investing in the physical world and not having a good connection with the spiritual world. So firstly, yes, we live in the real world, but the problem is that you are a perfect being. You know, God created us perfect, and you are capable of doing everything. But in order for you to understand the potential, the power that you have in the real world, you must have a good connection with the spiritual world. Because the consequences are, if you don't have that connection, you will fall. You will live in this world without having a very clear purpose. You will just live for the sake of living, and maybe out of luck on living in this world randomly, you will connect yourself with the spiritual world and find your purpose. Maybe there is a certain action that you make, but it will be very random, it will be very lucky. And with a connection to the spiritual world, you can delay that problem. Your life is not random. You do everything for a reason. All the mistakes you make, you know it's part of the plan. It's not random. You won't feel self-hatred if you're very well connected to your spiritual world. And everything has a meaning. And if your connection is very good, everything you do is part of the path. It's a struggle. It's a road to something, not just something random. And you can have all the tools for success. Actually, you possess all the tools for success because God created us like that, but you don't know it because you're just living in randomly. All the actions are random and they don't really have a plan, they don't really have a purpose, they don't really have an intention. So now let's talk about the spiritual world and what it is exactly, the spiritual world. I could say the best definitions to define the spiritual world are firstly infinite intelligence and a connection to God, to something higher. And it is in the spiritual world where you will be defined if you have limiting beliefs, if you don't have limiting beliefs. It will define your entire belief system. And listen, it is very important. Your belief system is very important because, again, if you have limiting beliefs, then in the real world, you won't be that effective. And like your belief system is like so important. Sometimes it should be put first than your actions because it's mostly all about your beliefs. Let me give you an example. Here's the sun. I can see the sun, and when I don't see the sun, I can imagine the sun. I know how the sun looks because I've seen it. I know how it feels in my skin. I know a lot about the sun, okay? But let's say if I was born in a cage and I never saw the sun in my life, I could never imagine it. And so the sun doesn't exist. And it is the same for success. It's like life as an entrepreneur, great example. Life as an entrepreneur is very hard. It is hard to make money until you connect with people who make, for example, over 10K a month. You ask them like, whoa, how you make so much money? And they're like, no, it's part of the process. And now you believe that it is possible to make more money than you thought. And this starts with the spiritual world. This is all about the spiritual world. So yeah, if you're not conscious about your thoughts, you're sleeping too much. You gotta be conscious about your thoughts, and when you see negative thoughts, you really gotta question why you have them. And the way to do this is to journal every single day. Always write about your thoughts, always write about your aspirations, and always write about your ultimate self and be inspired by it, work towards it. And when you write about your ultimate self, the tip I can give is it is a piece of paper. You can put everything you want. You know, like a video game, you can make cheats, you can live in God mode, you can put God mode. It is the same with a paper. When you are writing about your ultimate self, you are in God mode. And just like the sun, if you have wrote it, if you have imagined it, it means it is possible. And that's how you invest in the spiritual world in order to be able to know what success is, to know what a better life is, to know what a better you is. Now the consequences that I see when people discover the spiritual world is that then they overinvest it more than the physical world. And that's a problem as well, because the spiritual world is 50% of the process, is where you know what you really want in life, is where you really believe. Now you gotta work towards it, because if you don't work towards it, all your God mode, all your thoughts about the possibilities that you have around the world, they all start to fade away. You start to believe less in it because you don't see results in the real world. It's like if you're fat, if you have like a dad bod or something and you would love to have a six-pack, if you're visualizing it every single day, maybe, I don't know, maybe it is possible by placebo that you lose a little bit of your belly because you think you overinvest in that thought. But you need the actions as well. And the best example about this, and it's interesting, I have to talk about this confusion so that you understand, is you have the spiritual world. But if you only live in the spiritual world, you cannot contribute to society. Firstly, we have to understand what is the meaning of life. And we are societal human beings. We need each other to strive. Just look where I am. Like, here's like civilization. Everything is happening because people are working with each other. So we need each other. We're not lone wolves. And the main purpose for life is to contribute to each other. Maybe to make people's lives better, to contribute to your civilization, everything. And you know that the only way to contribute to civilization is in the physical world, in the real world. You cannot be just imagining yourself contributing to civilization. So yes, the real world is the other half that you need. First, you need to imagine yourself contributing to society, because of course you could be selfish. Imagine like you're not conscious about your thoughts, about your spiritual world, and just you're a selfish type of person. Of course your actions in the physical world will be wicked, but as your spiritual world, you have imagined yourself contributing to society. Now you got to do the other 50% in order to receive the rewards. And so yeah, this is how the spiritual and the physical world are connected, and they must be in harmony. So again, journal every single day, write visualizations. I can give you an example. I actually always have it with me. Pack of cards. Each card has a scenario that I want to achieve or something about my ultimate self. And I look at the card and I think, yeah, this is me. Let's respect the laws of physics. Let's achieve it. And another example for you, if you write in your journal that you want a Lamborghini, okay? Can you get the Lamborghini right now? No, because there is the laws of physics, there is the physical world. So you want the Lamborghini, you write it, right, in your journal. Now, you gotta live according to the laws of physics. Unlock your infinite intelligence and think all the possibilities. Of course, you can buy one, so you gotta make money, you gotta go on that path to buy one. You can ask a loan in the bank like a dumbass, you can go broke and then you can have debt, you can be a slave to the banks, of course, it is a possibility. Or you can meet a rich MILF that gives you her Lamborghini, for example. So here are the laws of physics. I was joking a little bit, but Yes, there's the laws of physics, but what matters is that you lean yourself towards those laws of physics. Now an example is you want a Lamborghini, but you forget about this thought 5 minutes later. 5 minutes later, you're thinking about your inner problems and the things that your family did to you and the bullying that you get or something. Now you won't, there's a less probability for you to get this Lamborghini because you thought about it, but 5 minutes later you're not investing your thoughts on that. So this is my recommendation in order for your day to be focused towards your visualization, so that you lean yourself a little bit more towards the achievements of the things that you want. Take yourself a pack of cards and write in each card scenarios that you want to achieve and read it as frequently as possible. Like in that pack of cards, I already have achieved like 5 visualizations, and because of that, as I achieved in the physical world, my belief system is way more developed. I believe a lot more in myself. I have a lot more self-love because I have that credibility because I've achieved 5 of those scenarios there. So again, you gotta be aligned with the spiritual world and the physical world 50-50, to be in harmony, to be like an orchestra. So yeah, that's all for this video. And by the way, if these videos are not enough for you because you have specific problems that you need to solve in your life, click the link down below, because I have a coaching program where I'll talk to you on one-on-one for an hour, and you can tell me all your problems, and I will create a problem for you to overcome those problems and achieve everything you want. So thank you so much for watching this video, and until the next one.